Hey everyone, Monty G here. Yes, it's time to do one of my thoughts on videos, and it's time to do that on the latest movie from the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, it's Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, Spider-Man Far From Home is a 2019 superhero movie. I believe is the 23rd movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. This one was directed by John Watts. He did Homecoming, and this was written by Chris McKenna and Eric Sommers. It stars Tom Holland, Samuel L. Jackson, Zendaya, Kobe Summers, and Jake Gyllenhaal. Now, this is an interesting movie to bring up here as the Marvel Cinematic Universe is now entering Stage 4. And after what we saw from Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, it was nice to see good old Spidey, our favorite neighborhood Spider-Man, back on the big screen. So let's see what I have to say, or what I thought about Spider-Man Far From Home. Now, 8 months after the events in Avengers Endgame, Peter Parker is recruited by Nick Fury and Mysterio to face elemental threats from another dimension, while Parker is on a school trip to Europe. Oh no! Can't good old Peter Parker get a break? Now, you gotta give Kevin Feige some credit because he really must be what he's doing with Spider-Man as we start off with Phase 4 of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now, after the destruction with Infinity War and the sadness that came with Endgame, he knew that audience needed something nice, fun, and lighthearted. And that's what we have here with Far From Home. Now, what we have here is a well-paced, action-packed, and funny movie here. I mean, everyone's having fun. We got humor, we got action, we got suspense. We even have a little twist here and there. Everyone has done a fantastic job here, from John Watts' direction, Chris and Eric's wonderful script, brilliant acting from the entire cast, especially from Zendaya. I'll get with her later on. Excellent visuals, well choreographed fight scenes. Should I continue to go on? This is the best of the Spider-Man films, and it even tops Homecoming as well. I mean, even after the Sam Raimi Spider-Mans, I believe, other than perhaps maybe Spider-Man 2 Sam Raimi, this is the best Spider-Man I've seen so far. Now, after a cold opening where we see Nick Fury and Maria Hill encountering Mysterio and some Earth elemental monster, we see 8 months have passed since the events of Endgame, and people who were restored from the snap, they call it the blip here, are trying to readjust into society. We see some people did not age from the 5-year jump that we saw in Endgame. They haven't aged, so a lot of people had some time readjusting. They showed it in the movie here. Now, meanwhile, Peter Parker, who's still grieving over the loss of Tony Stark, keep in mind that's a spoiler point here, so I'm pretty sure what I'm doing here. Now, I'm not spoiling the movie. This is a spoiler-free movie here, but that's a spoiler from Endgame. I'm pretty sure most of you have probably seen that already. He is going on a school trip to Europe with his classmates. Now, while trying to set up some private time with MJ because he really likes her, he encounters a water elemental and Mysterio while in Venice. Pretty nice scene there, too. Now, after meeting with Nick Fury and Maria Hill in the underground bunker, he meets Mysterio, who is called Quentin Beck. Beck tells him he's from another Earth, and that the elements destroyed his Earth along with his family. He's here to stop them from doing the same thing on this Earth, which is called Earth 616. Marvel Comics reference there. So it's up to Spider-Man to stop the remaining elementals from destroying this Earth and go on his vacation and his romance with MJ. Come on, Spider-Man, you've been in space. You can take this no problem, can you? The first thing you can see how well made this movie is. I mean, John Watts and the filmmakers, they have done an incredible job of making this film. First of all, there's never a dull moment in this movie, and that's thanks to the pacing Watts has done with this movie here. We're treated with some excellent fighting scenes, sprinkled with some tender moments, whether it's Parker's interaction with his best friend Ned or his rest of his classmates, Flash Thompson, or even the interactions that we see with Ned and Betty Grant here. I thought those are great moments. Even the romantic moments that he does finally get with MJ, or the bonding moments he has with Quentin Beck. They all flow together so nicely that the audience isn't overwhelmed with the action, or they're bored to death when the action slows down. There's nothing earth-shattering or real big suspense that we saw with Endgame or Infinity Wars here. This is a well-paced, nicely made film here. Now, you also have to give credit to cinematographer Michael Giacchino. I think I pronounced his name right. He takes advantage of some of the locations that we have here, such as London and Venice. Especially, we get some excellent shots of the night scenes at Venice. I like also how the effects teams did a fantastic job of how they incorporated the CGI elementals so that they don't look flick, and they blended in nicely, especially during the fighting scenes. It looks incredibly well made done. It doesn't look phony, as what most of the time we see with CGI effects. You got to give them credit for how the fight scenes are made, how the CGI looks. Everything was done perfectly. Now, everyone, I do mean everyone, did an incredible job acting wise. Now, there is no doubt that Tom Holland is so perfect as Peter Parker. Got to give Kevin Feige and his team credit for how they cast Tom Holland. He is Peter Parker Spider Man. Now, he possesses that teenage nerd look that we've seen from Parker in the comics, and despite what he has experiences, all gives Parker's that wild-eyed look. Like, he still can't believe this is happening to him. It's just an incredible look. I mean, the guy's been in space. He's fought Thanos' thugs. It was such a thing that we saw in Endgame. But he still looks like he still is a kid in nature. He's like, I can't believe I'm still in this shit. What am I doing? He is excellent with all the other classmates, and I love his chemistry with Zendaya. Now, speaking of Zendaya, this has to be the best acting job I've seen her do. I know that she doesn't get credit as an actress, but she's pretty fine here. I didn't have any problems with her whatsoever. Now, she isn't the conceited, sometimes vain MJ that we've seen in the comics. In here, she's intelligent, she's caring, and she's willing to fight for her friends. And she and Holland play Parker and MJ just like teenagers who like each other for the first time, but they're so nervous and so blushy. She isn't the damsel in distress cliche character either in this film. Well, Jake Gyllenhaal, he does a pretty good job as Quentin Beck, a.k.a. Mysterio here. Now, I like how Parker's classmates come up with his name, which is quite funny. And it's also quite interesting how the filmmaker decided to use his character, given the source material that people know about Mysterio. It's quite different, but in this film it works, and I like the bonding scenes he and Holland have in the scenes in this movie. Now, you also got to love the scenes between Marissa Tomei and Jon Favreau. You can see that there's something going on between them, and it's so funny. And as I said before, everyone does a fine job acting like in this film. No one, I can't even think of anyone that didn't do a bad job. I even like seeing B.G. Smoove in this particular film, too, as one of the teachers. He's his funny self as well. So, after all the destruction, shock, sadness, and shockness that we saw in Avengers Infinity War and Endgame, Spider-Man Far From Home brings us happiness, excitement, sweetness, and joy back into the MCU. Now, given what we saw in the mid-credits and post-credit scenes, we might have some idea on what directions where the MCU is headed in Phase 4, and then we also know that Spider-Man's going to have to step up, just like Nick Fury said in the film, because he's got some shit headed his way. Now, for those who are new to my channel, when I do these thoughts of videos, I don't rank them. That ranking is reserved for horror movies only because this is a horror film. I mean, this is a horror channel. As how I would rank this Spider-Man, as I said earlier, this is one of the better Spider-Mans I've seen film-wise. Just almost, but not as good as Spider-Man 2, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man 2, but definitely better than Homecoming. As far as the ranking this one on the MCUs, I believe this is one of the better films in the MCU, so I would definitely rank it high. Probably not as high as Infinity Wars, or I would say this. I would still have Infinity Wars, Endgame, Captain America, Winter Soldier, then I would put Homecoming probably fourth. That's how high I would rank this. And that's how much I enjoyed Spider-Man Far From Home. It's a nice, well-paced film, sort of a calm-down effect after what we saw with Infinity Wars and Endgame. So, guys, what do you think with Spider-Man Far From Home? Well, did you think this was a nice film? Do you think this is a great Spider-Man film? And what do you would rank this as far as when it comes to the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Leave your comments down in your comment section below and tell me what you thought about Spider-Man Far From Home. So, that's my video for today, guys. Hope you did love it. And if you did, please give it a thumbs up because it does help the channel a lot. And once again, if this is your first time here, please hit that subscribe button, ring that notification bell. That way you'll be notified anytime when I put up new videos, whether it's a horror review, an unboxing video, one of my thoughts on videos, or any other things, horror or superhero-wise, or wrestling, or wrestling related as well. Once again, my name is Lamont Smith, better known as Monty G, Grandpa Horror, or the Horror Miser Monty G. Thank you very much for watching. I'll see you guys later. I'm out. Peace.